All right. Well, people are joining. It's awfully quiet here, and we have so many people that are here with us. And I just want to tell you a few things about what is happening today. So, welcome once more. My name is Andrea Dea Rebeltescu. I am the founder and CEO of Sun Media Shine, the company behind this whole big series. And together with a group of people and amazing, and wonderful human beings, we set together on this journey, which is called the Art of Leadership. To give you a little bit of a backstory on it, it's actually built on Mindset Bloom, which is right up here in this corner. You'll see the little logo. This was a series that we started last year, and we pretty much tried to, I don't know, have a talk about and let everybody know how important coaching is in personal and professional life. So that was last year. And now we wanted to take things a bit further and make them more dynamic. And here we are. This is the inaugural event, Leadership and Empathy. And I have great people here with me that I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you in just a second. And let's get it started. Ada, how are you today?
I'm fine there. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us today from all over the globe. We have USA here, Canary Islands, Fuerteventura, my favorite, personal favorite. We have Darius here from the Emirates. We have Romania. We have France all over the world. Nice to see you. I feel very grateful and privileged to be here tonight and to take part in the series, The Art of Leadership, alongside my amazing colleagues and speakers. I am Mada Dietrich. I am CFO at Airtrex and professional coach. And just a quick insight on my personal leadership journey, which started about 17 years ago with little to none experience. So I just jumped in the water and I had to swim, or you fill in the dots. But my lack of experience was surpassed only by my curiosity and my desire to grow, to improve both personally and professionally, always looking for ways to learn as much as I can. Tonight, I will be your co-host along Dea and Gabriela. And I'll be seeing you in our chats here on Zoom and here on Facebook. And any question you might have or anything else that you want to tell us, we will address it there. So let's enjoy our evening together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ada. Thank you very much. It's amazing to have you two here. It's just awesome. Thank you for accepting. Thank you for co-hosting. We're gonna go to Gabriela. Gabriela, hi.
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you for sharing your time with us in this webinar, and thank you first of all to our speakers for today. I'm sure that they will inspire us with their insights related to empathy, and I'm anxious to hear what new ideas I will get from you. And also, I'm grateful to my beautiful colleagues, Ada and Dea. We've been working since few months ago on this project, and it's a very dear project for me. I'm talking in my place here. First of all, because the topic of leadership is the main focus of all my professional practice, and I'm so connected to this topic. Uh, I'm happy that Dea and Ada agreed to start together this project. As a leadership experience, yeah, it might sound a lot, it might sound a little, but 20 years of leadership have shaped me as a leader, but also have shaped me as a person. And since, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I've started to work as a professional leadership developer. Why? Because I strongly believe that leadership is a way of life. Leadership is not a job. Leadership is not a title. Leadership is not a responsibility. It's simply a way of life. And I choose to put all my knowledge, my competencies, and my energy and my love into this career. Also, because I truly believe that leadership is the main catalyst for both performance and well-being in all aspects of our life. So today, my role is to be here for you as a support. I will be a co-moderator with Dea. I am partner in this project, and my biggest joy is that we will have also a series of workshops that I will facilitate using mainly the skills related group coaching. And I'm planning to, I'm into it. I'm really committed to it, to bring all the insights that we will discover together in these webinars, to bring them into a very profound and practical insights into workshops, and to transform what we hear into a truly learning experience that maybe it sounds a lot, but I have the belief that this learning experience have the potential to transform lives. So this is my commitment. And thank you all again for being here with us. And let's enjoy the evening together, first of all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Gabriela. That was amazing. And it's so wonderful to have you here as well. And it's wonderful to have everybody here. And I'm so grateful. Let's see who are our people that are here, the ones that we invited and they accept, and they were so nice to be a part of this whole series. And I'm going to tell you just a little bit about them, very little, very quickly. We have Darius Curta. He is from Dubai. And Darius is actually, I've met him through a dear friend of mine, Marina, that I had the pleasure, and I have the pleasure to collaborate, and I collaborated in the past, and I hope we will. They are related. So I've learned about what he's doing in Dubai, and I really wanted to have his perspective in this series because I think it brings a lot of value. He's coming from the health sector, and I'm going to let him tell you more in just a bit. And the other speaker today we have is Dr. Mandy Zimmerman from the Canary. I keep having a problem with this.
Later, what do you think? However, this care, I believe, is the very foundation which leads to empathy. Care, it's a trait that once we adopt it in our life, we start to become aware of it. Once we become aware of it, we start to and want to protect it. And not only to protect it, but to prepare in having it on a daily basis. So I think this is something I reflect a lot on. I know I care a lot as an individual. I always did care a lot, and I think this is reflecting on my daily endeavors. I believe also that once we are misaligned or we are not, thinking about this factor, we can go off track. That's the exact time where we maybe miss out on being empathic, maybe miss out on being a good leader. And but I always try to come back and to be natural and as authentic as possible. I do love a lot our team. We have a great team. I think we developed a very interesting setup within the company. I forgot to mention I'm at the moment the managing director of Hortman Clinics and Hortman Healthcare Investment. We have multiple branches underneath, and I'm very proud of this position giving to me, honestly, by the grace of God, I would say. However, I can say that there was a kind of a preparation in the previous years that led me to this opportunity. Most precisely, I was working in Louis Vuitton, which was a great school of customer experience It was an experience that taught me the power of building relationships, the power of curiosity, the power of discovering the client, the power of keeping in touch and pay very close attention to the details. And as well, it was a place where the clients were very sensitive, and therefore you need to be extremely empathic and extremely careful on every gesture, every single thing that you do around them. Now, when it comes to empathy, it's something that I was both criticized and admired for. Criticized because at some extent people, and I think they are just not ready yet to understand that whatever gesture of empathy you are undertaking in your life, it's actually something that eventually you do for yourself. I strongly believe this, although that's not the target. I do believe that when you show empathy, you actually showing empathy to yourself, and that's it's not only an endeavor; it's a skill. As I mentioned in my introduction video, I think it's a skill. I think it's like a muscle. The more you do it, the more you keep aware, and the more you keep the good habits that keep you, let's say, open in the heart and in the mind. This will enhance, or this will give you the opportunity to seize very fast a chance to show empathy, a chance to be kind, a chance to care about whoever you are interacting with. Is it a colleague? Is it a stranger, or even a partner, a guest, whatever it is? So I think that leads to comfort within the team. That leads to an honest conversation. That leads to unlocking the potential or the ability of connecting to oneself in a very profound level, that gives security on a psychological level, that gives openness or the opportunity to discover deeply and really a colleague or whatever it is, a partner or family member, doesn't matter. So this is really an opportunity, because once you reach this level, you can really start to have the real conversation, the good conversation, those that would lead you to productivity, those which will lead you to the opportunity to understand more in depth things that will allow you to go to the next level.
Darius, this is amazing. And I have a question. I love the analogies that you're bringing out, and I love what you're putting on the table for all of us to hear. I would like to ask you, since you mentioned that it's a skill that you can learn it. What are some things that you've done for you to learn this skill, or something that you had? Did you had to cultivate it, or it was just native?
Well, I think there is no light that comes out from the light. I think light comes from the darkness. I have, in my turn, lived and experienced a difficult situation in life where empathy was more than welcome, was expected. And I think to be truthful to that, you need to always remember and always put in perspective how was or how would be if you would face a similar or same situation like the one you're about to address. And that's powerful. That's the exact terminology for empathy. And I think the more you do it, the more you are with an open heart, the more you are exposed to continue in doing so. Of course, this high levels of empathy, this high level of caring, it's coming as well with cons. It's coming with a lot of suffering. It's coming with a lot of anxiety or confusion, because you cannot always be at that level, and sometimes you can make mistakes, and sometimes you can feel that you can wonder, oh, maybe I'm not so kind, or maybe I'm not so empathic. And that's the exact moment when you need to go back on track. You need to go back on the good habits, and this is working for me. I think it's our mission to think about the people around us. I think it's not only optional, but I think it's a duty, and that in the end it's basically seeds that you're planting for your own self. When you understand this, you start to do it naturally. You start to looking for opportunities in doing so. I have read great books where basically the focus switched from doing it randomly to doing it with a purpose and on a daily basis. So that was a big major switch for me, and I think it's a game changer.
It is for sure. I just want to ask you if you can move the camera a little bit up so we can also see your beautiful eyes. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's amazing. We already have questions for you, but we're going to address those in the Q&A. So keep them coming, people. Ask your questions. Leading with empathy as a purpose. This is something that you said. What's the purpose behind leading with empathy?
Well, I believe the purpose, it's first of all, I believe in a couple of purposes. Number one, I think it's a duty to evolve on a personal level, uh, and responsibility in taking as much as possible people with you in your process of evolution. Um, there you go. There you have it. So we move forward, first of all, on a personal basis, and then it's a duty to take as much as possible people with us, because that's the right way to do, and that's the only way to do it right.
I love it. My hair just I react very quickly, and my hair just perks up to these. What you just said, it's your duty as a leader to take as many people with you as you can and get them to that level. I think that's amazing. That is amazing. Darius, how is Dubai this time of year?
Dubai, it's amazing. Dubai, it's really an amazing place. Dubai, it's a extremely flourishing place, and it's a platform for growth. It's a platform where it's a large and open invitation for people to connect and to share excellence. It's a hub of excellence, and on my personal opinion, it's probably, if not the one of the most interesting and fast growing places in the world. And I'm very happy and grateful that I have had the chance to be a part of UAE and Dubai.
Awesome. Thank you for this share. Thank you for being with us today. And don't go, because we have a panel open discussion with everybody, and that's gonna be gold, gold, gold. On the screen, you have the information for Darius. You're gonna get this presentation as well in the follow-up email. And let's just keep on moving. Keep on moving. I apologize for my drop. The internet kind of decided to be like, you know what? Let's keep you quiet for a little bit and let other people talk. And there you have it. It happens. All right. Mandy, how are you, my dear?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me here today.
That's amazing. How is the weather on your side of the world, the Canary Islands? Woo!
Well, it's perfect. I would say this time of the year it's very much like Dubai, as I have been living in Dubai before. It's 20 degrees, 20 plus degrees every day.
That's beautiful. Oh, vacation time, huh? The summer is coming.
Absolutely.
You want a vacation spot, you go to the Canary Islands. Mandy, thank you for being here today. Please share with us you have a baggage of experience on this, and we can't wait. We can't wait to hear it from you. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you, dear, for the introduction. And again, thank you for having me here. I'm very, very pleased and excited, as empathy is actually a topic very, very close to my heart. As it's probably the number one skill that helped me move through all aspects in work and life so far. If this is in my experience as a chemist and an engineer in the past, or later when I had a leadership role in corporate, developing 4 different teams at 4 different continents at the same time. And of course, right now as a leadership coach and trainer. And this is why I founded Curta Perspectives and created this new project of mine, which involves deep inner work and a holistic approach to leadership, including in developing empathy and emotional intelligence beyond all the traditional leadership frameworks. So again, thank you for having me here and giving me the opportunity to share my perspective on empathy. And as Darius said so beautifully, empathy is a skill that you can develop. And there is the part of emotional empathy, which is usually a more a natural tendency, a natural talent that might not be very well developed in everyone. But there's also the cognitive part of empathy that is a skill that can be strengthened. You can develop this by intentional practice and through enhancing your awareness. And the way we can do this is by focusing on those three key areas. We will be focusing on cognitive development, on emotional awareness, and behavioral practice. And those are the three topics that I want to guide you through within the next 10 minutes or so. So let's start with cognitive development. When I talk about cognitive empathy, I mean being able to take the perspective of another person, meaning intellectually understanding what this person is experiencing and also understanding that this is the experience of this person is true for this person in the moment and in the situation. If or if not, you agree with them. I always tell my clients, you don't have to agree in order to understand. And that's what cognitive empathy is about, understanding the perspective of someone. Now, the probably simplest part to start enhancing your empathy is just reading and learning. So get yourself some books, some courses, some articles that cover human behavior. Learn about what drives people, learn about what blocks them maybe, um, learn about religion, values, and where are our emotions coming from and what do our emotions tell us. And most importantly, go out there and have conversation with people that are different from you. If that's a difference in nationality, a difference in profession, or just simply being a different person with a different personality trait, go out there, have those conversations, gather objectively the information about differences in people and human behavior and what makes people tick. And I want to challenge you here at this point and ask you to learn especially about things that might be the complete opposite of your own beliefs, because that brings me to my next aspect on enhancing your cognitive empathy is challenging your biases. We all have them, and the tricky part about biases is that we are most of the time not aware, and we think and we believe that the view that we have in the world is reality. And that's just as wrong as it can be, because we have to understand that the way we or our view is just this, it's one view. And in order to understand views of different people, we have to put aside our assumptions. So I ask you to step into the role of an explorer, of a scientist, and start on a blank page by learning about what drives the other person. And I think the most difficult part here is probably quieting our inner judge, because when we talk about differences or when we encounter differences, we usually judge. We are triggered and we judge. And I would like to suggest to you to find some ways to stop that for yourself. Stop that inner judge for yourself and remind yourself that we are talking about perspectives that might just be as valid as your own perspective. Some practical tips on how you might be able to do this is setting yourself some reminders and giving yourself some reflection prompts throughout the day or at the end of the day, and ask yourself, what have I been learning today about different perspectives, about different views of people, and what did this trigger in me? And what do those triggers tell me about myself? And the moment you appreciate or when you accept that there's different point of views that might just be as valid as yours, you are already a big step ahead or big step further in developing your empathy. And the last point in the context of cognitive development is that I want you to remind you to understand that there's a systemic nature of human behavior. So whatever is surrounding us in the moment or whatever we have been experiencing in our lives shapes us. And that by default already makes every person different from another. And when you are able to appreciate that, you understood what cognitive empathy is. So getting all the gathered information and knowledge that you can get about differences in human behaviors, putting aside your biases and judgment, and embracing the complexity of human behavior, that is what I find as cognitive empathy. So once you understand intellectually understand the perspective of another person, it's time for you to move to the emotional part. Understanding emotions in the first place means to recognize them, which is not always very easy for people. And once you recognize and understand your emotions, you are able to find ways to regulate them. And that is important for your own own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. So let's just start with yourself first. And interestingly enough, many people have difficulties in knowing and naming what they're feeling and what they're going through, describing their inner world. And if you are one of those people that have difficulties in this, there's beautiful apps out there, for example, mood apps or emotional wheels that you can find in the internet that helps you to put a name on the emotion. So put a name on them, label them, and then journal about your emotions. Ask yourself, where is this emotion coming from? What is triggering this right now? And understand that beneath every single emotion, there's usually a need. And often enough, this need is not met. So if you are able to name them, and understand the need behind it, you know what you have to do in order to regulate your emotions by either giving yourself what you need in the moment, if you can, or counter the emotions that might be overwhelming in the moment, and use some practices like, for example, um, um, breathing exercises or positive affirmations, whatever helps you in order to regulate yourself. It is important to understand yourself before you try to understand what drives different people, because remember, other people are even more complex than yourself, just because of all the different shaping and all the different perspectives that are out there that are usually very different from your own. And when it comes to working with others, I would like to ask you to not be scared of those complexities, but to keep an open mind and again, put your judgment aside and just listen to what people have to say. They might often enough already tell you with words what they're going through, or at least with stories. And you also will get a lot of information through how they're saying things, the tone of voice that they're presenting, their body language, how they're reacting. Objectively try to observe what information you can get from a person and then simply talk about it and ask them. You can, for example, you can ask them something like, I noticed that your voice or that your speech is very, very fast right now. Is there anything that makes you nervous, and what can I help you with? Or I feel like there's some anger in your voice. Is there anything upsetting you? The most important part here is to stay non-judgmental in order to be safe for everyone. And if you want to go a step further and master the emotional part of empathy, then I would like to challenge you to try to put yourself emotionally into the shoes of someone else. And honestly try to feel that emotion that you just got from them. So if you get an anger emotion, you very well know what anger feels like. And try to feel that emotion in order to understand that person. That especially helps you when you're not agreeing with that person or when you don't really understand what's going on here. By trying to mirror them and feeling what they feel, you will understand what's going on, even though you don't agree. And again, you don't have to agree in order to understand. Now, that was a lot of information. Time is running already as well. I would like to summarize and give you some practical tips at hand that you can integrate in your daily interactions in order to enhance and develop your empathy even further. As I said before, journaling is an amazing tool by setting yourself or giving yourself some prompts at the end of every day and practicing this with time, you will learn and see that after some time, you will be more aware of yourself and you will be more aware of others. And the same is true for triggers. You might have to set yourself reminders at the beginning because usually we don't really realize when we're triggered. But with practice, you will get a grip of this and you will understand and identify your triggers much faster and will be able to respond in the moment. And I think the best practice that I would like to give everyone at hand and that I would like to encourage everyone to integrate into their daily lives is mindfulness. There's so much information about mindfulness practices out there. It is the best tool, I would say, in order to enhance any awareness in general. And if you are a leader that knows that you have to enhance your emotional intelligence or your empathy, set this just simply as a KPI. By having a KPI, you can hold yourself better accountable. And the measurement can simply be, in this case, having a feedback session before and after from peers or from your direct reports. By having a KPI around empathy, you can work intentionally towards that goal. And the last slide that I want to show here is how do you interact, what can you implement in interacting with others in your daily life? When you're working with others, be always approachable for them. Set every distraction aside and be present and listen actively to what the people have to say to you. You do this by reflecting back what you have heard, reflecting back what you have been understanding, and asking open-ended questions. By doing so, you show them that you care, that you're really interested, and that you want to understand and that you want to collaborate in moving forward. That is what empathy is about. And as Darius said before, it is your responsibility to take as many people with you as you can. One very practical technique that I would like to share in the end is the 5 why technique. It's a very practical, actually, root cause analysis technique in the manufacturing industry or in other industries, but you can use that with people as well. So whenever you have a situation that you don't really understand, ask 5 times why, and 5 is just a number here. Why is that person yelling at me at the moment, right now? And you might find an answer like, they might be afraid of something. So go a level deeper and ask, what are they afraid of? Why? And you might find an answer like they're afraid of losing their job. So by doing so, instead of labeling that person as a yelling jerk, it helps you to go into the explore mode and find an answer that maybe that person heard a rumor of layoffs and now is afraid of losing their jobs. And with that information, you can do so much more than with the labeling, judging, bias information that you had before. That is what I had to share today. I feel I was running through it. I would like to remind everyone, as Darius said before as well, it is a skill. Skills have to be developed. It is a continuous practice. It's just as going to the gym and enhancing your muscles or building your muscles. The same with skills and empathy. So I thank you very much, everyone, for being interested, for listening, for being here with me today, and giving it back to you, Andrea.
Oh my God, no, this is great. Please don't give it back. I don't have a presentation. Oh my goodness. This was so well. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you so very much. You have her information on the screen. Again, just like with Darius, you're going to receive this whole presentation. You can have all their information, all their details. Follow them on social media. Ada dropped a bunch of links for you. I know it's a lot. We're going to try to include all those links also when we send our follow-up email. And there was a great interaction in the chat right now, and I can't wait to get to the Q&A part of everything. But if you don't mind, I would like to read out something that that Wana Zaik actually put in. It's not a question. It's just something that she noticed while listening to you. So this is not a question, it's more of a comment. As I listen to your very informative presentation, I make connections with co-regulations and interoception, and it is fascinating the overlap between being a leader and being a parent. Amazing observation, Juana. You're actually very on point. I'm curious if anybody agrees with you. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for coming on screen, for being brave and being here. We're going to open all this to discussion, so just be patient. But I would love to see if anybody had this perspective or had this feeling, us parents, those that we are parents, if anybody felt this kind of connection with us. And we're going to put it on the table and discuss it further. Okie dokie, okie. Oh, I love your background over there, Juana, whatever's on your wall. It's amazing behind. Super. Mandy, thank you. It was
Thank you.
it was great. It was in detail and you didn't go over by any means. And I want us to get into a bit more depth. So now everybody met everybody. We heard Darius and his amazing perspective. We heard Mandy and her amazing perspective. Here's what's coming. And again, put in your questions in chat. Those that are on Facebook watching, please as well, put your questions in chat. We're really looking forward to hear what you have to say. We have a questions for all of you, one question for all of you, and we would love for you to answer it. And we're gonna drop a link, a Menti link in the chat, both here and on Facebook. And we would like to open this panel discussion with this question. I'm going to read you the question. It's probably going to become on the screen as well, but just to hear as well. What challenges are you experiencing in practicing empathetic leadership right now, at this very moment in time, in your own work environment? What challenges are you experiencing related to empathy in leadership? We would love to hear from you, and scan the QR code. You also have a code to type in. I believe it's in chat as well. 73957834. Once you get to the voting thing. And it will give you a few minutes because I'm actually going to do that too. I'm going to fill in this because I'm also, there it goes. I also have some challenges related to this. And let's just take 1 minute for all of us to join in Menti and put in our answers. Take your time. Take your time. One already kicked in. I wish we had some music in the background. I'll think about it for our next event. All right, here we go. Let's see, we have 4 responses. These are great, these are great, these are great. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Oh, we got a light on the screen. A sledge. All right, all right. We want to make sure we give you the time for you to do that. 7 responses. Yes, 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 yes. In the meantime, while you guys are doing that, I just want to let you know that you have QR codes also over here on our screen. Please scan them. They will take you directly to the landing page where you have all the events coming up and the speakers. We have many more speakers that will be joining us throughout the series. The series ends in December with a celebratory event. So every 2 months, we're going to have an event, a webinar with great people that we're going to talk more about leadership and different subtopics. And I invite you to register and attend because it's so much value that you're going to get from it. Share it with your friends. Let everybody know to come and join and get some information, something that they didn't know, a new perspective from someone. 8 responses. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Anybody still has coffee? Depending on the time zone, I guess. Here over in the US, well, on Eastern time, it's barely not even noon. 9 responses. Oh, this is great. Let's read through them a little bit. Mm-hmm. I see patience twice at least already. If you have challenges filling in and answering, let us know to see if we can assist you in any way, technically. All right. Well, I guess anybody else still in there typing? We'll give it 1 more minute. If you guys are in there typing, we'll give you 1 more minute and then I'll move on here and see what we have. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. TikTok, TikTok. Okay, I guess we are safe. I say we're safe. Can I get a thumbs up? Maybe like someone over there in the chat, just give you some thumbs up to know that we're good to move on, because I don't want to take it away from you if you're still doing something in there. Thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Now, this is what we got from you guys. Everything is anonymous there. And here is the challenge. I love when I have a little nudge in there, like, oh my God, what's about to happen? Nothing, no calamity is going to happen. Don't worry about that. But I would like to open the stage and invite one of you that answered the chat, or if you didn't answer it, if you didn't have time, or I don't know, you just didn't feel like it, and you want to bring it up, we're going to open the stage for one of you to join us. Bring us your challenge. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it and see how we can help you. Not just us, but also those that are watching on Facebook Live and those that are here with us today. It's going to be a first come, first served. I know, and everybody's like, oh, pick me, pick me, pick me. Raise your hand. We're going to see the hand raised in the chat, and come up on the stage. Bring your challenge to us, and let's see if we can help you. Yes, we are here for you today. Absolutely. I agree. That's absolutely right. I can go. Attila, please. You're feel free to open your camera as well so we can see you.
Yes, just a second here. Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on this webinar. And I stumbled upon this by accident. I'm part of a Facebook group where it was advertised, and it just resonated with me, especially the empathy part of it, because I work in a major healthcare system that has been just rebranded, the name of it to Amplify, which is a combination of empathy and amplification of empathy. So amplify is spelled the wrong way with an E at the beginning, highlighting the empathy and the amplification of it named in one.
Wow.
So that's part of our mission as a organization. And my role, I'm a senior research scientist in the Research Institute of this healthcare system. And I come from academic research, and I never had leadership training. And over time, I ended up in somewhat of a leadership role in this research institute and the healthcare system. And I realized I'm lacking some skills to be successful, I would say. And some of these skills are empathy, interpersonal relationships, acknowledging, validating other people's points of view, because until now, my whole world was data driven. So there was no ambiguity really about it. So that's why I'm here to learn. And what I've heard so far is really great.
I'm going to applaud you.
So going back to your question, what is one challenge? and I put this in the comments. So I I own one of those lack of patience comments. So when some of the decisions or situations are data driven, and I know that my interpretation of the data is correct, I like the patience of going through the process and validating someone else's point of view just to lead them to the same conclusion, because it's a waste of time in a way. And I probably is not the nicest way to say this, but essentially it boils down to that. Also, this direct approach is sometimes perceived as rude, non-sensitive. So that those are aspects as a leader I'm trying to work on.
Okay.
Empathy falls right in there. And I really like Dr. Zimmerman's presentation linking the empathy as an outcome to regulating our own emotions. Yeah, that really resonated with me. Thank you, Dr. Zimmerman.
Well, Mandy, would you like to take a stab at this?
Yes, absolutely. I love what you said, Adila. Thank you so much for your honesty. Um, I heard this very, very often because I'm coming from the scientific and engineering field myself before. And I coached a lot of leaders that are technical leaders, and I had exactly the situation. Like, I know fact-based what is right here, but then still I have to wait for others, or I have to discuss with others. And I want to address a blind spot that we're having when we're usually coming more from the analytical field. We only look at data and facts, which is in certain circumstances perfect, but not everywhere. And we might sometimes forget to see the business part behind it, or the people part behind it, or the fears that people might even have, or the risk, the doubts that people are having. Even though you're factually right, and on a scientific basis, you might be that might be the way to go. There might be sometimes other ways to consider, and even something like intuition. In some cultures, intuition is more acknowledged and more accepted, even in a scientific part, is a very important aspect for people. Some people need to bring in their whole selves and their personalities and their emotions rather than only the facts. I would suggest to probably start with something like, you might have heard of the DISC assessment or social style assessment, where you can understand what drives people in terms of being emotional or not emotional, and being assertive or non-assertive. There you can understand a little bit better that in this case it's like quadrants, so it's for roughly 25% of the population is more analytical like you, and 75% are different. They need different things. So as I said before, when you talk about what's going on in the emotional world, there's a need, and it's a need of usually something that has to do with protection that is behind it. And facts don't matter when you have an emotional need. So if you start focusing, learning about those differences in people, that might help you with your patients. I hope that answered at least part of your question.
Yes, it did. Thank you. Thank you. And I understand what you're saying, because as someone mentioned, parenting is very similar to being an empathetic leader. So I have a family, and I can relate to all those aspects that you said. I think I dissociate them from my professional environment and the family environment. But yeah, there's a lot of overlap, I guess. Yeah, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mandy. Thank you. Thank you. Gabriela, please.
If I may, Ottilo, I would first say that I totally understand your lack of passion. Of course, when you know something, you know, and you assume, like everybody knows, the data are this. So it's not so easy to be patient with the people who are not understanding what you see as so obvious. And what I would try to, I don't know, to suggest, consider just a suggestion. maybe when you see that people don't understand what you are saying, maybe it would be helpful for you to ask them. And keep in mind this question. What is truly important for you in this moment that I'm not saying to you? And in this way, you give them the opportunity to explain themselves. Because maybe they really don't understand what you are saying. Being so technical, maybe they don't understand, and that's why they are coming so emotional. And the other question that also I would like to suggest is what else do we need to know in this moment? Do you need to know in this moment to go further instead of stepping on the same step, saying the same question or saying the same thing and going emotional and over emotional? Maybe if you ask them what they need in order to go further, you will limit your explanation to what they really need to know, because it might be too much for people who don't understand your technical language. And this is just two practical questions that might help you not to temper your passion necessarily, but also to open the discussion with your partner in this field. And also to go to the point instead of going emotional. Hope this will be helpful for you. It was just an idea that came in my mind.
Thank you, Gabriela.
Thank you.
Thank you also.
Darius is over there aching because I know he's in healthcare, so he's right there in the same field with you, and I'll let him take it over.
Attilo, my friend. Ladies, this was extremely valuable. Thank you very much, both Gabriela and Mandy.
Darius, 1 second before you continue. If you can, yeah, just keep like that so we can see.
Yes.
Somehow,
Sorry. I think I have ADHD.
Closer. There we go.
Attila, my friend, knowing that this is something you are struggling with, it's an emotion will come over and over again, not because of the situation, but because probably some other emotion that are not regulated. What worked for me very, very well, and it's a responsibility to take this step, it's physical activity, most precisely boxing. Of course, we can argue about the having or not having time, about other responsibilities. However, I think when you are aware about this challenge of yours, which is lack of patience and often the not very happy outcomes, you have the responsibility to address it. One of the simplest way to address patience or any other emotion that you want to regulate, it's physical activity. It works great for me. I think boxing is one of the greatest tools that I have encountered in my life. It is not only a very similar positionment with the one in the life, but also it operates in a very high heartbeats, which allows you to access all those emotions and to let it go on the spot. You should be good to go for the day. And this is very effective. I know it's not so fancy maybe, but it's extremely effective. And it helped me tremendously in regulating emotions. So if you have a chance or any kind of opportunity to go for it, go for it. Thank me later.
Thank you, and I agree with you. I actually am quite a competitive athlete in my age group in cycling, so I do get the physical activity aspect of it. But to your point, that world is trying to eliminate all nonsense aspects of the activity. Straight to the point, be efficient. So in my point of view, that actually fuels even more. I don't have time for being sidetracked because I have a goal to reach. I want to move forward. And on my end, it creates frustrations if others don't have the same mindset. But I understand what you're saying, and that's an outlet to kind of offload these feelings in an environment where I have more control of the process.
And just to close, if it's really very, very important for you, you know in your heart, you know what's the way for it. You do know. I'm sure you do know. It's just a matter of creating the right discipline and whatever it takes to go for it. You know, everybody knows in their heart, even if it's not a technical tool or it's not a, a very high-end kind of way of achieving this. Each one of us, we know in our heart what we need to achieve and what it costs to go for it. So just do it. Just do it.
Awesome. Thank you. Attila, how was that for you as insights?
That was very useful. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your thoughts with me. And yeah, it gave me some things to think about and try some approaches. Yeah.
That's
Is there a recording we can access of this?
Yes, sir. You're gonna get a recording in the follow-up email. Everything's gonna be uploaded on our YouTube channel, the Some Media Shine channel. You're gonna get all the information, not to worry. And I encourage you to sign up to the other webinars. You're gonna get a lot of value out of them.
Thank you, everyone.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Austin.
Thank you. Juana, if you still have a minute, Juana just texted me that she has to go.
I have to go to another meeting in which I'm actually presenting, so I am so sorry about this. But what I wanted to say, Mandy, this was amazing, and it was so. I really truly had an aha moment because for the past 2 years, I have been a full-time mom to my 12-year-old son, and prior to that, I was in a leadership position. I managed a department, and my focus at that time was on doing versus being, which took away all the empathy and all the regulation, all the focus on people, and was focused on actions and results. So I'm learning how to be versus do with my son. And you brought that up. Like I've been thinking about it a lot, and it dawned on me as you were talking, like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. So thank you so much. This is awesome. This is fantastic. So keep on coming. I signed up for all of them. Yeah. Mwah. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank
much,
you all.
Juana.
Thank you.
Good luck with your presentation.
Oh, I love this. It's like boom, 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 boom. Things are just happening. They're just happening, and it's so lovely. It's so lovely. I'm getting goosebumps. Like I'm all goosebumped up. Alrighty. If you guys are comfortable, whoever's out here, if you want to join us on the screen, please come. We'd like to see you. We would like to meet you because we're going to start addressing some of the questions that you guys dropped in the chat and on different channels over here. And if you have anything that comes to you like now as we speak, please, you can even open your microphone and be like, hey, I got a question. I want to ask so-and-so something, and we'll really gonna dissect it. Or if anybody wants to bring another challenge, we're still open for challenges. Actually, how about you guys are comfortable to pick one from the Menti? Just pick one from there and see if we have and see what we can do with it. It's okay if the person doesn't want to be public about it. Okay. Ada, if you don't mind picking one up.
Well, I just brought them up on the screen. So we have quite a few.
Okay.
Let's take the first one because I cannot choose. They are all so juicy as a subject. Setting boundaries. I think that this is a thing for us all to put up for discussion.
Okay.
Taking into consideration that we are talking empathy here. So how we set boundaries and still being empathetic?
That's good. Would you like to kick it off?
I have some messages here, so I'll leave my colleagues. I have my role for tonight, and I am taking care of our guests here, so I'll leave my colleagues to pick it up because I'll tell you a secret. I'm not too good at setting boundaries, and it's an issue I am working on.
Yep.
Okay. So I love your insights, and I'll get back to our guests in the chats on Facebook and here on Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, okay, I'll kick it off real quick. I've had a problem for a very long time that thank God I got rid of it. It's that of saying no, which is where boundaries come from. I was brought up by a very strong woman, very loving woman, very giving woman, a very religious woman. And we know religion tends to put you on a spot of sacrifice, almost borderline sacrificing. If you're really a believer, you can get to that point. And she's really a believer. And her philosophy is, I'll give now and I'll be given after in heaven. That's her way of life. That's her code. And that's who I saw. That's who I had as a role model, my mom. And I love her. And she is an amazing woman. But what I didn't understand then, and I understood it on my own way later, because I went based on the same philosophy, is that you're burning a candle at one end if you're not really careful. You give, you give, you give, you do that, but it eats on the other side. And if you're not really paying attention, it burns you all the way, which it did to me. And for those of you that were here for our Mindset Blooms series last year, there was a webinar where I put myself on the spot, one step away from suicide. That's my story. That's how it affected me. Not setting boundaries got me hairline of not being here today. So at that point, it was a hard wake-up call. Darius was mentioning that we have our dark sides, and man, they are dark and you don't know them until you get there. And if you get there and you get out, then you're invincible, truly. That's what I learned a really hard way. You know what? No, I love you. That doesn't mean that I don't have empathy. It doesn't mean that I don't care for you. It doesn't mean that I'm not here for you. But in the same time, I have to be here for me. And if I recognize that it's damaging me that much, then I'm sorry, I'll have to let go. Because guess what? If I'm not here, I cannot give you any more empathy. I cannot give you any more of my love. I cannot give you the best of me. So I got to take care of myself first. And that's how I learned about setting these amazing boundaries.
Actually, this is something like it's coming to my mind that you don't have at some point you don't have what to give because you are already consumed. So as an empathetic person, if you want to give to other people, first of all, you have to take care of your own resources in order to be able to give. And it's like in the airplane. First of all, put yourself a mask and then helping others. And how it can be done to set up boundaries, it's not easy. And I know many people, it's a common challenge, this. I think most of us have this challenge, at least in a sequence, like with special people, like, for example, with child or so on. But as Mandy already shared with us few strategies about how to enhance the empathy, it's about step by step. It's about active reflection learning. Act, set the first boundary, then reflect on how did you felt, what was the impact, what was the response that you had, what you learned from it, and then again commit to yourself to act in a certain way then. And with practice, we will reach to that point to be able to set, I would say, healthy boundaries. But also, I think that Darius also said, and Mandy said, it's starting with self-awareness. First of all, we have to acknowledge about ourselves that we have a challenge. And then to acknowledge the impact that challenge is having on us. And then to commit to act in a different way in order to change our behavior. It's not coming with a decision to change our behavior. It's coming with practice. It's coming action, reflection, learning all the time. It's a long life journey, actually.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Thank you. Thank you, Gabriela. Darius or Mandy, if you want to add something. If not, we can go to the questions that we have.
I would actually like to add something that you two just said, because you're mentioning pretty extreme cases in some areas, like being very burned out, being close to suicide. I mean, that's like really the worst case that can happen. And I want to empathize for everyone. There's no shame in getting help from someone. If that is in the psychological area or in the coaching field or just from a friend, having someone you can go through things together, you can speak about it is already a big help. So as Gabriela said, self-awareness is the most important thing, right? But then you're still lost sometimes. And if it's getting in the extreme, get help from someone that you trust. There's nothing wrong with this. I just wanted to add that to what you mentioned.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, dokie. Let's see. Ada,
So you said something about questions there.
we have questions.
Yeah,
We have
I
questions.
have questions. I have questions. I have a first question for Darius. So the question is, how do you ensure your team members grow both professionally and personally under your leadership?
Thank you for the question. It's a very good question. First of all, within our team, what we develop naturally, it's a very close bond, meaning that we know a lot about our team members. On a personal level, I know a lot what's going on in their lives because I simply ask, and that's my routine every morning. I follow up on things that I learned in the past, and that that bring us on a platform of trust, of open mind and heart. And based on that, I do know from them what are their wishes, what are their expectations, um, what are their plans for the future, and we make sure that we give them the tools. Of course, it's not always easy because we have a lot of employees. However, we make sure that their request is heard and we process it accordingly. Now, when it comes to our leadership, we have all the time sending the managers, the leaders to all kind of master classes that are available in Dubai. That I think it's very useful, and we give them the open invitation for them to tell us about their plans and to tell us how exactly we are able to help. Of course, in practice, that's not extremely accurate because I want to share with you, we are in the fourth year of business. We are still quite new on the field. We have done an amazing journey so far in terms of visibility, in terms of growth. However, of course, we still have things to work on, and that's the beauty of the journey, pretty much. And if I can share our own motto, which they can find in the pantry, at Hortman, because that's the name of the company. You feel at home, understood, and inspired. And we live it on a daily basis, pretty much.
Okay. That's great, Darius. And it takes me to another question. We talked about boundaries, and now we talked about ensuring growth personally and professionally. Is there too much empathy within this? How do you set the boundaries?
Well, you got me on the spot. It's a very sensitive topic for me because that was one of my main obstacles to overcome. I have a very contradictory thoughts about being a giver because that's the single fact that allowed me to be where I am today. So when I'm challenged on giving too much, it's like it's a very challenging thought for me because basically I have to sometimes let go of being truthful to my own beliefs. And my deepest belief is that saying yes, of course, without being, absurd or going to the extreme, saying yes is basically saying yes to yourself. Although it's not obvious all the time on the very moment, I can guarantee you that this was the very single factor that brought me where I am today. It brought me a huge amount of satisfaction, a huge amount of happiness, and together with my own personal happy feelings, it brought a lot of joy, a lot of uplifting to a lot of other people, which is I don't know how, but you are on the spot. That's one of the challenges on being empathetic. Sometimes it's very hard to take the hard decisions. Uh, Sometimes you have to take the hard decisions. Sometimes you are waiting too much in taking them. But you know what? It's a short life. If it's to give credit to a person, a human being, and even if you are wrong, I'm sorry, mea culpa. I will still try to put first people, and that's pretty much the way I think.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I would, I would also like to bring a perspective on this about too much empathy. How do you know that it's too much empathy? If you are feeling bad, then it's too much empathy. If your emotions are negative emotions, then it means that it's too much empathy. And you start again to reflect and to see what's in it for you, what is there for you, what is there against you. And then you will be able to self-regulate, or as Mandy said, get professional support.
I have a question for you, ladies.
Sorry?
I have a question for you.
Please.
Is there any time in your life you thought that your quest to God or your whatever you're believing in, is it too much? Because sometimes we have crazy requests. Crazy requests.
I love that, Darius. I know where you want to go through and to, and I agree, because I would say you cannot have too much of a skill, you cannot have too much empathy, but you can manage it poorly. So if you are, with every strength there comes a blind spot, with every strength there comes an overuse, and which turns it into a weakness. So if you have a lot of something, you have to learn to manage it. And that is a different story. So first of all, you have to develop your empathy, but when you have a lot, you have to be able to manage it in order to set boundaries, for example. So can you have too much of a skill? No. Can you use it wrong? Yes.
I agree.
Darius, I love where the discussion is coming because we are not fully agreed. It's like the people that are looking at us, for sure, they know that it's not arranged, this discussion, with what I'm bringing. You know, you asked me if I'm thinking of God and saying that well, it's too much empathy. Sorry, I am not God. I am just a simple human being. And if we are looking about the leadership position, and also the leadership of our own life, there has to be boundaries. There has to be limits. We have to manage it. As Mandy said, we have to manage it. We don't need to die because we are leaders. We don't need to die because we are empathetic. So yes, I am not God. So I will not answer to crazy questions. I will not answer to crazy requests. And if we are looking about leaders who are managing real business teams and so on, let's remember one thing. The business is made by people. So leadership, it means caring about people. Leadership, it means empathy. Actually, the empathy is the first basis of a leadership. But on the other hand, a business has to deliver results. So when it is about leadership position, then yes, you have to manage your empathy, because otherwise you will go into burnout, you will go into depression, or you will not deliver the results. So yeah, I'm not God. I'm not God.
Thank you. That was great.
Thank you also.
I appreciate it.
Just a quick addition here.
Please.
Maybe when you feel you have too much, give some to yourself. Because I just remembered their story and what she shared with us, and I know the story well. So maybe sometimes let's give it a little bit for ourselves so that we can um, give back even more to the people. Because I think that leadership is being in the service of people.
Yep.
So thank you.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Do we have time for one more question?
We have one, I believe, for Mandy, and I would like to address it before we go to our final remarks.
Okay, great. Please.
All righty. So the question sounds like this. Can you share a moment where you had to actively reframe your thinking, cultivate deeper empathy, or apply systematic reasoning to overcome a personal or professional challenge?
Yes. Oh, many, many. I would say one that is related very much to empathy. Is in my position as a leader. I was a global leader, managing many teams and managing up in many directions. So there was a lot of senior leadership that I also had to manage. And I was in a position where I was too empathetic with my own teams. And I was really feeling angry because of what I perceived from senior leadership coming down to my teams. And I was not managing my empathy and my emotions very well. And I got angry. And I got angry at senior leadership. So everyone in my teams loved me, and everyone in senior leadership had really a hard time with me because it was very difficult for me to manage that empathy at that time, to get all the complaints and all the pain that people were feeling. I was feeling that myself, and it made me so angry. So that was a moment when I had to step back, take a pause, and I was working with a leadership coach at this moment as well to learn on setting these boundaries and also not making it personal. Because when you're very highly empathetic, it feels everything feels so personal when it comes to you, and you have to learn to separate what is your emotion, what is the emotion of someone else, and what is something that you cannot control. So I also work a lot with clients on what can you control, what can you influence, and what is just beyond that. And learning to let that go is tough work as well.
Very well put. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your personal experience. That's amazing.
Thank you for this question.
Ooh. Yeah, it came from someone in the public. Great one, great one. All right. Well, we're drawing to a close over here, and I'm so happy to see that people are still with us after almost an hour and a half. You guys, I hope you had a good time. I hope you got yourself, I don't know, maybe we answered some of your questions. Maybe you've learned something new. Maybe I don't know, some value out of this. I would like to invite our guests to give us some final remarks, and we're also going to have a Q&A. No, sorry, not Q&A. A link that will be dropped here for your thoughts to let us know how we did today, answer a few questions. And finally, I'm going to give it to Gabriela, who's gonna tell us a little bit more about the workshop that we have this month. Each webinar ties with a workshop. So every month we have a webinar at the beginning of the month. We end it with a workshop, and we'll give you some details on that. As a final draw, Darius, all the way from Dubai, what do you want? I don't know, something that you want to leave our guests with after this whole amazing conversation.
First of all, let me thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you all. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the invitation, for the moderators, the guests, and everyone who participated. As a final thought, I'm thinking about life. I'm thinking that it's the most precious gift that we have received. I know that each one of us, we are on different points of our journey in life, different points of our awareness. I know that once you have an idea of where you want to go or what you want to experience, makes things more easier. And I encourage you all to design or to make clear in your mind what is exactly you want to experience and where exactly you want to go. For me, on a personal level, I enjoy a lot my kids, my wife. That's something very precious for me, and I manage quite well the time between family and work. And on a professional level, we are striving as a company to become one of the greatest through and being known by the excellence in customer experience, and having a setup as a family, so we take care and we go all up with the family members. So that's pretty much it. I wish you all the best. I'm sending love from here, and hope to see you soon, and You are great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Darius. Thank you so much. In the meantime, Ada dropped the feedback link. I would like to ask you to take a few moments and fill it out. Let us know. Tell us what you think. Did we do good? What would you have done differently? You have a few questions to guide you over there. Mandy, what are some thoughts you want to leave our guests with?
Millions. I don't know where to start. First of all, I want to thank everyone for your interest, for your participation, and you for hosting this, and also Darius for partnering. I met you the first time in person. I hope there will be more. I'm sorry that I'm not in Dubai anymore now. Um, I don't know where to start. I just think this is just a kickoff. This is the start. Everything starts with awareness. I hope we were able to make you a little bit more aware of whatever your needs are at the moment, and go from there. Join all the other sessions, join the workshops, join us, connect with us, and let us know any question that you have in the future, because there's just so much to share at the moment that I really don't know where to start. And take it as a journey and just being curious. I think curiosity, that's the most important thing in life in order to grow.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you. Without curiosity, we wouldn't be here. Sometimes my kids that are kids ask question after question. I'm like, then I remember, wait a minute, this is good. Let them ask. Let them ask. There's no such thing as a bad. Let them ask because it's a good skill to have for the future. Thank you, Mandy, for that. I'm gonna pass the baton to Gabriela. Gabriela, I'm gonna let you take over. And in the meantime, Ada's gonna be dropping some more links for you, informative links into the chat. Gabriela, please.
Oh, first of all, thank you, Mandy, and thank you, Darius, for being with us. I am trying to summarize a little bit what I've heard and what it came into my mind. If I remember correctly, Darius said that something like empathy is the only way to do it. And honestly, I strongly resonate with his perspective. First of all, empathy is what makes us human. And without humanity, how we can be leaders? You know, when I talk about leadership development, some people are asking me, do you truly believe that anyone can become a leader? And my answer is always the same. Yes, with no doubts, but with two conditions. To have at least a minimum level of empathy and to have a strong will. So actually, this is the mission that we were committing with this this project, The Art of Leadership. Our commitment was to use this strong will and this minimum level of empathy, and to bring more awareness and to raise the level of leadership for the people that will choose to work with us. Because becoming a leader, it means an everyday work with ourselves first. It's not about working with others. It's about working with ourselves. This is means leadership. And leadership is starting with self-awareness. And as Mandy already told us where to start: reading, looking at ourselves, and so on. Actually, both Darius and Mandy showed us not only why empathy is important in leadership, but also some strategies, how to enhance it, how to use it. And as we all said here, there is no shame to ask for professional support. Nobody were born like being a leader, and I think that nobody will born a leader. But all of us have also a mission. As a leader, we have a mission to grow other leaders. And I would challenge, first of all of us to think about, why do I want to be a leader? What's in it for me? Why do I want to be a leader? And starting from this challenge, it is my great pleasure to invite you to the first workshop of the Art of Leadership series. And the invitation is actually to make a practical step into your self journey of self-awareness and growing empathy. as I said, it's a journey that will never end. But what we will do in the workshops, from what it means to understand our own emotions or to understand others' emotions, up to setting healthy boundaries, not just setting boundaries, we will look together for new perspectives and answers for all the challenges that we are really facing. Actually, it's a commitment and a promise that we want to have these workshops in a very practical, interactive, and applicable way. And we will address the challenges that you are bringing related to empathy, but in a way that we will look about ourselves. We will grow the self-awareness. And this will bring us the opportunity to enhance the ability to inspire and to support teams through empathetic leadership and through self-awareness, but also to build our own leadership identity. Actually, this is the self-awareness is targeting our own identity as a leader and as a person. And we hope that with these workshops, we will put another drop in your confident leadership identity by balancing authority and emotional intelligence.
Wonderful.
And so actually our mission is to support you to navigate through your leadership challenges, sharing our perspective and also bringing the opportunity to find out more perspective, because we are just, I don't know, 6 people here and many more in the audience. And in the workshops, we will meet other leaders with other challenges and with other perspectives. And from this, I hope that we all will have a better understanding about our role as a leader, as we choose to design it. So welcome, please come with us into workshops and let's see how we can grow together.
Thank you, Gabriela. Growing together, that's the word. Let's grow together. Darius put it very beautifully. It's our responsibility to bring everybody in our boat. Let's grow together. You have some links in the chat. Ada's also going to be dropping a bundle for the 5 workshops that we have for the whole year for a special offer, very special offer. The one that you have in the chat right now for the event that's happening, the workshop that's happening at the end of this month, is a 24-hour limited offer. You're going to get it in your email as well. What can I say? It was a joy to be here. It was amazing to have you, Mandy, Darius, my girls, Ada and Gabriela, for being in this leadership boat that we're creating together. Everybody that's watching us, everybody that is here, thank you for being here. Thank you for everything. If you have any more questions or any other things that you want to address, we're going to give you all our information in the email. I'm going to wish you a happy afternoon because it's 12:30 right here where I am in Washington, D.C. Darius is much later. He's probably getting ready to go home in Dubai. Mandy also towards the afternoon, and Romania as well. Thank you guys for being here. Have a lovely evening. Kisses, hugs.
Thank you.
See you next. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
See
you,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.